Is beauty subjective or objective? If both, which side is more dominant? Perhaps the most familiar basic issue in the theory of beauty is whether beauty is subjective, located in the eye of the beholder, or objective, which means that it's a feature that everyone likes. A pure version of either of these positions seems implausible, thus, many attempts to have been made to split the difference or incorporate insights of both subjective and objective views. So, subjectivity. You've probably heard the famous phrase that says beauty is in the eye of the beholder, or in other words, as aesthetic relativism. That which one person finds beautiful or admirable may not appeal to someone else, which means that if I think you're beautiful, it may only be in my head or in my mind or in my eyes. This statement refers to judgments that are considered subjective, everything that is based on or influenced by personal feelings, tastes, and opinions. All aesthetic judgments are relative to particular cultures. So, according to relativism, an artwork or a part of nature, a sunset or a human face, is not beautiful in itself but is only pleasing to a person or a group of people. These judgments do not reveal facts about the world but only reflect the responses to aspects of the world.
For example, you and your friend go to the movies. When the movie is finished, you tell your friend you completely enjoyed watching the movie, while your friend tells you he really didn't like it. You can also be asked, what do you think is more beautiful, Da Vinci's Mona Lisa or Van Gogh's Sunflower? There is not really a correct objective answer, the way that there is an objective correct answer to a mathematical question. Someone could prefer poetry, while someone could prefer dancing. Somebody might prefer rap music, while someone may prefer hip hop. Whether or not you like a work of art or not has to do with the relation of a work of art and the person. Every person is different, so everyone has different tastes and opinions that we can't certainly change or convince them to think differently. Once again, this is what we call subjective beauty. Immanuel Kant similarly concedes that a taste is fundamentally subjective, that every judgment of beauty is based on a personal experience, and that such judgments may vary from person to person, defines beauty as being judged through an aesthetic experience of taste.
However, we can think of beauty as being objective as well. This view is known as aesthetic objectivism. The claim that something is beautiful has more content merely than that it gives someone pleasure. When someone asks you why you like something more or why is something more beautiful, you usually give that person reasons for what you think. Thus, it refers to the fact of being based on facts and not influenced by personal beliefs or feelings.
To give you a better example, let's observe a situation when it comes to comparing works of art. 5-year-old boy Joshua draws 4 dogs on a piece of paper. It is rendered entirely with a blue marker, and the dogs have rectangular bodies and triangular heads. So, we might ask, how does Joshua's 4-dog composition compare in terms of aesthetic quality to, say, Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa? Is one of these works superior, meaning more objectively beautiful to the other? Well, not according to subjective beauty. On this view, no work of art can be objectively superior to another, because the relatives maintain the beauty is entirely relative to individual or cultural preference. If someone happens to prefer Joshua's 4 horses drawing to Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, because given their culture, let's say he or she prefers the fancy color blue, then the drawing of the 4 dogs will be superior to them given their culture. In neither case could it be said that the Da Vinci painting is aesthetically superior to Joshua's drawing in an absolute sense. However, this type of view contradicts common sense. Obviously, the Mona Lisa is superior to Joshua's drawing, regardless of how much someone could prefer the color blue or other personal preferences. Thus, the only way this judgment can make sense is if beauty is an objective fact, not merely a matter of individual or cultural preference.
So, if we are to maintain, as we should, that the Mona Lisa is better than Joshua's drawing, we must admit that aesthetic qualities, whether good or bad, are public facts about the world. In other words, beauty is an objective quality of things. A second argument for aesthetic objectivism appeals to the universal, time-tested appreciation of many works of art. Educated people will agree, as they have for centuries, that Shakespeare's King Lear is a great play because of its poetic and conceptual value. The Rachmaninoff's Prelude in C-sharp minor is an exquisite piece of music because of the successful use of complex time structures, and that Michelangelo's David is a masterpiece.
So, to conclude, is beauty subjective or objective or both? So we think that beauty until a certain point is both. Primarily, we believe that it's part subjective due to the fact that beauty is independent to every person, as in the case with couples and things like that, such as the fact that if everyone thought that the same woman or man were perfect or were beautiful, then everyone would seek for the same ideal person, which is not the case in our society. And we also believe that it may be objective when it comes to the sense of art and like paintings and things like that, or the divine perfection, which would be a point where everyone agrees on beauty, but until a certain point. We don't like what doesn't make us believe completely of objectiveness is the fact that for objectiveness it would have to be the case of 1 pound of feathers weighs 1 pound of feathers for everyone in the single world. But objective things as art may not be perfect or beautiful or have the same description for everyone, but it may still have beauty for everyone.